The Forbes 2012 list of the world's most innovative companies is out, and there are many familiar faces from last year. How are some companies able to maintain a high innovation premium? And why do United States companies continue to feature prominently? Here to shed some light on it is INSEAD Leadership Professor Hal Gregersen. Hal, welcome to INSEAD Knowledge.
Glad to be here.
Hal, number one on the list for the second year running is application software company Salesforce.com. Its founder and CEO Mark Benioff is considered a pioneer in cloud computing. How has this innovative leader been able to transfer such creativity to his company?
Mark Benioff is a big bundle of energy. And it's focused, though, in terms of what he does to get new ideas. And he's done this since he was a young kid. I mean, basically, Mark is constantly on the hunt for new ideas by talking to different people who aren't like him. He does that habitually. He's constantly making observations, paying attention to the world. He's regularly trying little experiments to figure out how to do it. And at the end of the day, Mark constantly is asking questions to provoke the status quo, kind of chase the edge and do things differently. So you do this enough and you end up getting new ideas. And so not only does he do that from the top of the organization, but Salesforce.com expects everyone to get great ideas. And unlike many other companies, they put a lot of energy and resources into others' abilities to get new ideas. So at Salesforce, they train everyone at least one full day a year on creativity and innovation skills so that they can keep them sharp and they can use them continuously in the organization.
Is his approach typical of other leaders on the list, and what do they all have in common?
The way in which Salesforce approaches being an innovative company is how innovative companies across the world approach it. Basically, they're led by leaders who are innovative themselves, and they act as innovators. They do this innovation work from the top down. The second part is they put in a process that says, we not only do it ourselves, but we hire people who do this stuff. We reward them, we promote them. They put in open innovation and open sort of ways of getting ideas in from the outside. And finally, they have these philosophies within these companies that say, it's not just my job, the creative founder, to have innovation or to be innovative. It's everyone's job. Everyone is responsible for innovation around here. And then they put people into smaller teams that are no more than 6 to 8 people, even to tackle big jobs. And they turn them into projects and actually try to get creative solutions. And they spend a fair amount of their energy trying to not only create incremental, sustaining small ideas, but they put energy into the big stuff, the radical, the disruptive, world-changing kind of ideas. So they're from the top to the bottom, engaging people in the generation of new ideas, but also an expectation that we're going to take those forward and make them work.
Of the top 15 countries, 9 are based in the United States. Does America have an environment more conducive to innovation?
I think any environment that creates an open space or context where people from different perspectives can come together, bump at the intersection, and it's those differences that create new ideas, will be pretty successful. America happens to be one of those places. You've got a fair amount of different people coming into that space, different geographies, different backgrounds. And if you go back to the go back to the 9th to the 13th century, it was the Islamic Golden Age. And at that point in time, it was a fairly open border. There were lots of people coming from different places all over the world into the ports of this region. And those interactions were part of this incredible outburst of all kinds of innovative ideas we take for granted today. So it happened then, happens to happen in the US today. I think it can happen in a company, in a country, in a continent, wherever they can create that space for people to bump in with different perspectives, to bump into each other, and where it's not so oppressive that they can let their ideas out and do something about it.
Apple and Google are notably absent from the 2012 list. Apple's down from 5 to 26 and Google dropped 7 to 24. Are they losing their edge?
They are and they aren't. So let me give Apple as an example and focus on that. Apple was in the top 5 in the 2011 list and is number 26 in the 2012 list. That largely reflects the unfortunate passing away of Steve Jobs, investors not sure whether or not the future of Apple will generate new products and blockbuster blockbuster products like they've had in the past 10 years. There seem to be indications now in late 2012 that they're still doing some great things. And there's a probability that on next year's list, I suspect they'll be up in terms of a ranking. Google has had difficulty moving beyond the initial disruptive business idea of being this grand aggregator of information in ways that people find valuable. They're struggling with people believing new things are coming out, and therefore the investor confidence drops about their innovation premium.
Are there any other differences between the companies we're seeing in this year's list and last year's?
One of the things I noticed, or we've noticed, is that there are quite a few Asian companies on the list who either weren't there before or they're higher than they were before. So one of the top 10 companies is Baidu, which is essentially the Google of China. And the founder of Baidu, one of the co-founders, Robin Li, he's an innovator himself. He's lived in the US for a number of years before he ever founded Baidu, brought that experience back from working and living in the US to China, and built this pretty innovative and highly successful company in China. And one of the things we know from our data is that when anyone lives in another country and adjusts and immerses themselves enough into that country, statistically, they have a better probability of getting new ideas about products, services, or businesses just because they've lived in two worlds and they combine perspectives and they deliver great results. Now, it's not only crossing geographies, but we also found that living and working in different industries has an equally powerful effect.
Has the economic turmoil that's affecting the world forced companies to become more innovative?
I hear CEOs and executives all over the world speaking the words innovate, innovate, innovate. But this is one of those initiatives that if executives say those words but don't do it themselves, it's the worst of all worlds. Companies need the innovation with the recession and uncertainty and turmoil going on in the world. They need it. But if all I do is tell my people to do it, but I don't do it myself, it will go nowhere.
Hal, thanks for being with us on INSEAD Knowledge.
Thank you.